She's back. Not just in headlines, not just in whispers across fight communities, but in a moment that feels bigger than anything we've seen before. In 2026, Ronda Rousey is stepping into a Netflix spotlight that could redefine her entire legacy. The lights will be brighter than ever, the audience larger than ever, and the pressure heavier than anything she faced in her prime. But to understand why this comeback feels so intense, so emotional, you have to go back to a night where everything about her dominance was put to the ultimate test. At UFC 168, the world witnessed one of the most brutal and personal rivalries in women's MMA history as Ronda Rousey faced Miesha Tate for the second time. There was no respect between them, no calm build-up, just raw hostility. The moment the fight began, they charged straight into each other, exchanging strikes in the center of the octagon with zero hesitation. It didn't take long for Ronda to do what she had built her reputation on, closing the distance, grabbing control, and dragging Tate to the ground. It looked like the same story we had seen before, Ronda on top, overwhelming her opponent with pressure and control. But this time, something felt different. Tate didn't break. She absorbed the punishment, fought through the knees, and resisted every submission attempt with a level of toughness that forced the world to look at Ronda differently. For the first time, Ronda Rousey wasn't just dominating, she was being challenged. And yet, even in those moments, there were flashes of evolution. This wasn't just a judo specialist anymore. Her striking had improved, her timing was sharper, and her fight IQ had reached a level where she wasn't just reacting, she was setting traps. Every movement had purpose. Every exchange was leading somewhere. As the fight progressed, Ronda mixed in kicks, clinch strikes, and relentless pressure, showing that she was far more complete than critics had ever given her credit for. On the ground, she remained terrifying. Whether she was on top or working from guard, she constantly threatened submissions, especially that signature armbar that had already become legendary. But Tate kept surviving. She defended, she scrambled, and she pushed the fight into territory Ronda had never been in before. When the first round ended, it shocked everyone, not because Tate was winning, but because Ronda hadn't finished her. For the first time in her career, the fight was going deeper. Round 2 turned into something even more intense. Tate started finding moments, landing punches, and forcing exchanges that made it clear this wasn't going to be easy. The momentum shifted back and forth, and for brief seconds, it looked like the unstoppable champion might actually be in danger. But that's when something important revealed itself, Ronda's ability to adapt under pressure. Instead of panicking, she adjusted. She waited. She watched for the smallest mistake, the tiniest opening. The grappling exchanges became chaotic, almost impossible to predict. There were armbar attempts, triangle setups, elbows from both fighters, and wild scrambles that had the crowd on edge. At one point, Tate even escaped a fully extended armbar, something that felt almost impossible given Ronda's history. That moment alone proved how far Tate was willing to go, but it also showed something else. Even in chaos, Ronda was still controlling the direction of the fight. She wasn't just reacting, she was building toward something. By the time round 3 arrived, both fighters were exhausted, but Ronda's focus never faded. She kept pressing, kept searching, and then it happened. A small positional mistake, just a split second where Tate's defense slipped, and Ronda capitalized instantly. She isolated the arm, adjusted her hips, and extended with precision. There was no hesitation, no wasted motion. The fight ended the way so many of her fights had ended before, with that same devastating armbar. Victory was hers again, but this time, it felt different. This wasn't just dominance. This was survival, adaptation, and proof that she could endure a war. But what came after that fight changed everything. The aura of invincibility didn't disappear overnight, but cracks had begun to show. Eventually, the losses came, and when they did, they hit hard. The same world that once saw her as untouchable started questioning her legacy. Critics grew louder, doubters multiplied, and suddenly, the narrative shifted from dominance to downfall. It wasn't just about losing fights, it was about losing identity in front of millions. And now, years later, here we are in 2026. The noise is back, but it feels different this time. This isn't about hype or dominance anymore. This is about redemption. Ronda Rousey is stepping into a Netflix fight that could either restore her legacy or close the chapter forever. But the version of Ronda we're about to see isn't the same fighter from those early UFC days. This is someone who has faced defeat, stepped away from the spotlight, and had time to rebuild, not just physically, but mentally. Because at this stage, it's no longer about proving she's the best in the world. It's about proving that everything she was, everything she built, still matters. That the dominance wasn't a fluke. That the fire never truly went out. And if there's one thing history has shown us, it's that when Ronda Rousey locks onto something, she doesn't let go easily. So now the question isn't whether she can win. The real question is whether we are about to witness one of the greatest comebacks in combat sports history, or the final moment of a legend stepping into the light one last time. Either way, when she walks into that cage in 2026, the world won't just be watching a fight. They'll be watching a story come full circle.